Hi, everybody. Just waiting for people to come in. Oh, hold on. Let me grab my mics. Be right back. Be right back. There we go. Just got to. Sorry about that. I didn't have my mic hooked up. I have a little bit of a pain in my left kidney right now, where I had my surgery. Maybe the stones are going to come out. If I keel over during this, you'll know why. My kidney stones are passing. They're supposed to be the size of sand, so hopefully it won't be too bad. But I just felt a little twinge, and I was like, oh no. Let's see if we can get some people in here. We got breaking news right now. We got major breaking news. Hey, Kelly. Hey, I don't know if you saw my live earlier, but everything is changing. I was just working actually working a missing persons situation here for the last 2 days. And so, oh wow, I did a live earlier about the photo and the video of a suspect seen at the front door. And now there's breaking news. There has been a suspect who has not yet been named that has been detained as a person of interest. They are not arrested. There is no name. It is apparently happening in the neighborhood of Rio Rico, Arizona, which is 30 minutes south of Tucson. But let's just hold on here. Let's get some more people to come in and we'll talk about this. I am exhausted. My darn text and my iPad was going off all night long, and I was just really kind of not a happy person in my last video. Things just got a little out of control with, people trying to reach me in the middle of the night. So I made a little speech in my last video saying, hey, if you know me through YouTube, please contact me through YouTube and through my business email and my business mail. That doesn't apply to you because I know you. But, let's see if we can get some people in here. I just saw my buddy Diane Diamond just released something. Hey, 12 people. Okay. It's update. This is breaking by the moment on the Nancy Guthrie case. Apparently, an individual, a male, has been detained for questioning, possibly in the neighborhood of Rio Rico, Arizona, 30 minutes south of Tucson. There may also be something going on in another neighborhood that may be connected to the school that Tommaso Cioni works at. I haven't confirmed that, but that there's two separate operations happening right now. Rio Rico, Arizona, and something Ora or Ore. I didn't hear it. I just wanted to get on the air really quick. They have not released any names. They have not released any information about a pending or imminent arrest, but someone is being detained for questioning at this very moment, supposedly in Rio Rico. Gonzalez, Twins Life. How you doing, Gonzalez? Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed. Hey, King Garza, thanks for coming in. Yeah, I'm showing 13. That's it. It's kind of sad today. I haven't been doing so well on this. Let's see. We were talking about the Nancy Guthrie case with breaking news. Person of interest held, no name given. Exactly. 23 people. I've got 10 on my end. Yeah, I think a lot of those people already dropped out. It just depends on if are you at the current chat or are you behind? If you're behind, you might want to close out and then come back in because you might be behind the chat. Let's see. I'm watching another channel right now, but I can't show it to you and I can't play the audio because it's not my channel. I'm watching the boots on the ground right now, but a lot has happened because they released the images and the video of the person that may be the abductor slash kidnapper wearing the ski mask who came and removed the Nest doorbell on the evening of the crime. Oh, you're welcome. I subscribe right now. Oh, thank you so much. You're on your parents' iPad. Okay. As long as they say it's okay with me. But make sure if you're a minor that you get permission from your parents. I don't have a name. I don't have a picture. 43 people. Yes, everybody give me a thumbs up. How could I have 43 people watching right now live? And this is breaking news. This is the biggest thing that's happened in this case that I've been on for 9 days reporting. We've got 2 thumbs up and we've got 23 people watching. Hit those red hearts. It helps with the engagement and it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, we got 3 thumbs up. Keep going. Red hearts, thumbs up. 20 people watching. 23 people watching, 15 watching. Let's get it to 10. Can we get it to 10? I am watching a video in the background on YouTube where there are live boots on the ground right now in Tucson, Arizona. I'm just watching other YouTubers report on this. I happen to just look at my Facebook for the first time since this morning. And I saw a journalist reporter, former reporter, news journalist Diane Diamond, come on and say that in the last 20 minutes there has been a suspect detained. Recommend watch The Men in Black. That's my favorite movie. I have watched that movie. Let's keep going here. Is anybody else getting anything additional on any other stations right now? On any scanners, news channels, radio announcements, TV announcements? This is breaking news. Today, a suspect's photo and video was released. It was a male, not a skinny male, not a fat male, sort of a, I would say a little bit, not portly, but I don't know. He's definitely not fat, but he was not, stick skinny either. He was kind of large around the stomach, but aren't we all at this age? But we don't know the age of this man or the height or the weight. Want to check for photo. Yeah, I have the photos earlier of the suspect that was nabbed the night of his photo and video was nabbed the night of the crime. Now, is he the man that was picked up in Rio Rico? I have no idea. Let's see. Ken Garza, dad bod. Yeah, he did have a dad bod. That's a perfect description. Oh, it's Ken Garza. I'm sorry. It's going by so fast. Hamster 12183. Let's see. Gonzalez Twins for Life gave me some red hearts. Yeah, just tap that screen and the red hearts will go up, and it helps the YouTube algorithm and it helps the engagement. My videos haven't done so well today, but I said I would come back on later tonight if anything new was reported. And I do have my smoothie here that I had to make because I'm still trying to hydrate from my surgery. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be rude, but I had a little bit of kidney pain before I went on, so here we go. You're doing a bunch. Are you doing a bunch of research, or are you just doing a bunch at home tonight, Kelly? I know it's a little late for you, being on the opposite side of the country. Let's see what we got. I was just watching a playback from earlier today. It was like a premiere of what was on the Megyn Kelly show, and I could take her or leave her sometimes, but I've been following her coverage as well. Another YouTuber says, suspect detained, Nancy Guthrie kidnapping live. TMZ says, breaking Nancy Guthrie case explodes. It doesn't say how many minutes ago this was. New video recovered from Nancy Guthrie's Nest camera shows masked armed man. Yeah, we went over that earlier today. Is that a good movie? They recommend you watch the second one. We're not talking about that right now, Gonzalez Twins for Life, but if anybody wants to watch it, go for it. You're doing hearts. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. This is actually good news. Thank you. This is better than the news channel. I appreciate that, Gonzalez Twins Life. Are you a twin? Or do you have twins? Gonzalez Twins Life. I'm watching my iPad screen and I'm watching my television screen and I'm watching the chat all at the same time. So if I miss something, I apologize. Uh, I knew that once they had the photos and the videos out, that they would be getting close. And apparently they're in the neighborhood of Rio Rico, Arizona right now, 30 minutes south of Tucson, with somebody detained, not yet arrested, not identified. And they also mentioned another area possibly pertaining to a school, possibly pertaining to the school where Tommaso Cione is employed. I have not verified that. I just heard the word aura or ore, and they said something about the school. So maybe there's two separate scenes that are happening at this moment. But they definitely, even though we have a masked suspect, at least we have video of a masked suspect carrying a gun in his waist. There's also some former pictures of him where the mask is turned around and you don't see the eye holes and you don't see the mouth hole, you don't see the mustache, and you don't see the gun. So there's clips where he may have come before, maybe to do some recon work, or earlier that evening, where he doesn't have the gun on his belt and he doesn't have the mask on facing forward. Then you have the shots of him with the mask, with the eye holes, the mouth hole, where you can see the mustache, you can see the eyebrows, and you can see the gun, possibly a Glock. It appears to be a right-handed person based by the way the holster is set with the handle facing to the right. I'm left-handed, my handle faces to the left. So I did notice that the gun would be facing in the direction of a right-handed individual. I don't know. You can't tell because he's got a mask on. Is definitely doesn't look like an African American person, but it's hard to tell because you just are seeing the eyes and the lips. And the video is in black and white, and it's very, very dark in that neighborhood. Now, the night that this happened, though, it was either that night or the night before, we had a very prominent full moon. So that gives a little bit of extra light that normally wouldn't have been there. Those are your sisters, okay? The Gonzalez twins. Yeah, we don't know. But we got breaking news right now because we got police presence in Rio Rico, Arizona, and apparently police presence in another neighborhood. I missed it. I don't want to turn up the volume here because I don't want to get nailed for shared content. We've got to be really, really careful with that, especially if I keep building the channel and, more and more people are coming in and, I can get a good following and we can get my watch hours back and, maybe a miracle will happen and I can apply for remonetization someday. But I'm a long ways off on the hours. I got enough subs. I just, I need more people to be watching my videos. Clicks and subs are nothing compared to view time. Now I need the view time. So if you guys want to go back to the beginning on Monday, a week ago Monday, you can see all the videos that are on this. I've come on at least once, sometimes twice every day since this is broke, except for Friday, and I apologize for that, but that was my surgery day. And later in the week, I have a lot of medical, so I can't promise anything, but I'm going to try to come on the air as often as I can. I have a lot on my plate right now. I'm back. Yeah, I was live a few hours ago. Welcome back, Anthony. I didn't see you there. Yeah, I was live. You can watch that video later on once it uploads. It may have already uploaded, but the chat wouldn't have uploaded yet. That takes a couple of days. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this is breaking news right now, Anthony. Besides the video from earlier where we have suspect pictures and video of an unidentified man wearing a ski mask at Nancy Guthrie's door, presumably the night of the intrusion. We have reports coming out of Arizona that a man, unnamed, has been detained, possibly in the neighborhood of Rio Rico, Arizona, 30 minutes south of Tucson. Doesn't surprise me because I think whoever is involved in this, whether it's someone who did the crime directly or someone who was hired to do this crime, this abduction by somebody else, I think it is somebody local to the area. You are making everything seem so pacific, and I can understand it perfectly. Oh, thank you. You know what, Gonzalez? Somebody on one of the other videos that I posted earlier this week, I woke up to a comment where they complained that I don't remember the exact words, but something like, "Oh, they would be so inclined to watch me more if they could actually hear me." And I've been asking all you guys, like I almost went live tonight without the mics, and I had to jump up. I'm like, "Oh gosh, my mics, my mics." And anytime I get a little snide comment like that, I'm like, you know what? If you would like the sound to be improved, feel free to send me some Rode. That's RODE. Yes, RODE mics. And you can send them to the business address that's listed in the main or on the main channel page. I, I'll always be happy to accept additional upgraded equipment. So, but as far as I know, you guys can hear me just fine. Yeah, thank you, Kelly. Thank you for letting me know. Small drop in the pond, exactly. Uh, we try our best here. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this YouTube channel in over 5 years, and I've got like $200 to show for it. So, yeah, we're thousands. And if somebody sent me a check for $5,000 and I deposited that into my account, I'd probably just have broken even on this channel. I'm not doing this for money. It's actually costing me money. But yeah, Rode mics. Put that on my to-do list. Put that on my wish list. Labor of love, absolutely. Okay, Anthony says, I subbed on my other phone and like it going to comment in like 415 seconds. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Like it going to comment in like 415 seconds. Oh, I see another. Carlia, Anthony. You must be related to Cohen, Anthony. That's your other phone. Okay. My favorite movie would be Halloween, the original. This is really interesting. I just checked in with Facebook and I saw my buddy Diane Diamond had just posted that someone had been detained for questioning. And, let's hope that that will be the start to the beginning of the end of this. But let's find Nancy Guthrie. Remember, that's the most important. Yeah, if somebody, gets caught and goes down for this, great. But we need to have Miss Guthrie returned. Let's see. Am I talking about Nightmare Before Christmas? No, I actually haven't seen that. I'm talking about the original Halloween. Oh, that is your sister's older phone that she gave to you. Okay. I keep looking up. I want to see. Let me look at my iPad. I hate the way this new iPad, you can't open or close things. You have to go to these little like light bulb tabs on the side. Okay, let's go to this channel. Let me turn down the volume because, like I said, we don't want to get nailed here. Do not want to get nailed for any type of reuse. And let's see what these pages, they don't even open all the way. I'm not sure why this is, I really like the older iPad better. My iPhone recently upgraded too, and it just totally sucks since it upgraded. I can't do anything. And I see one reporter is outside Nancy Guthrie's house. Let me turn this up a little to see if I can hear it, but I don't want it to record. Okay, they're just saying that someone has been detained in the Nancy Guthrie investigation and that's all they know. Probably not because I was already on a lot this week and I'm exhausted. Let's see, we've got 7 thumbs up. Everybody give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's like, most people are in bed. It's Tuesday night. People aren't up watching YouTube right now. But I just finished. I was sitting at my desk working on typing an MP report, and then I walked over and checked my Facebook, and I saw Diane Diamond, who is a very reliable source, saying that within the last 20 minutes, somebody has been detained, not arrested, but detained, and the person's identity, all they're saying is that it's a man, supposedly, is being questioned at the moment. You should come back in a couple of hours and view April's other videos on the issue. Yes, thank you for posting that, Kelly. I always appreciate you modding. You don't need to do so, but I'm just leaving you here as a mod, and, thank you so much. You're probably going to be awake like 1 in the morning, okay? Well, hopefully I'm going to get some sleep. I had a little bit of an issue last night. The channel has gained over like 100 subscribers in the last week and a half, just because of my reporting on this, and it just makes me so happy. But on the other hand, I had text and IMs coming in while I was trying to sleep. And, I'm an insomniac the way it is, and I just had 2 major surgeries, and I'm having a medical complication. When I came on a little earlier today, I was a little bit upset, and I wasn't upset with, my good friends here. But, I can respond to as many questions or comments as I can. I can talk to you during the videos. I can, feel free to send me an email to the business email. If you ever want to send a letter or just say hello, you have something you want to send to the business address that is listed in the channel main page. All my links are listed, my eBay, my, buy me a coffee, everything is listed there. But I cannot be taking personal texts and personal IMs from total strangers on the internet that are coming in, in the middle of the night. That's not cool, everybody. Think about if it was you. Would you want your sleep and your privacy invaded? Absolutely not. I've been a PI for 42 years, and we can't do anything stupid or risky here to put myself or my family or my loved ones in danger. So, I'm not saying that anybody had those intentions, but I don't need somebody creeping on me, at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's uncalled for. If I can find who's doing that, they will be permanently blocked from this channel. I can't really talk to you like that. I can only talk to you when you're live, because you're not 13 yet. Oh my gosh, Gonzalez. Make sure you're asking your parents if you can be watching. And you are watching, Anthony says, watching on my PS4. Okay, thank you. Yeah, make sure if anybody's a minor here that they ask their parents' permission to be watching this. And wave back to you, Gonzalez. I had a really good chat earlier tonight, Cal, but not a lot of people came in. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything more. I'm watching a live on the ground, boots on the ground on YouTube on my TV screen, and I've got a broadcast. I got to make sure you guys can't hear this on the iPad. All I can tell you is someone has been detained, not necessarily arrested, and that it's a male, from what I'm hearing, in the neighborhood or the town of Rio Rico. Anybody want to look that up? No. Gonzalez, I did curse a little bit earlier today because, I was awakened twice last night. And I got a lot on my plate medically, and, I'm so happy to make all my friends here on YouTube, but I can't be getting IMs or private texts from people on this. Just make sure you guys watch me on YouTube. You can always come and join the chat. You can always put the comments in on any of my videos, whether it's positive or negative, whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down. Engagement is fine. If anybody, wants to talk to me about something more serious and they would like to send an email, or they would like to send something to the business address, I had somebody came in a couple weeks ago and asked me about my cancer GoFundMe, saying that the links weren't working anymore. And I was like, what? Like, I don't think I've had a donation in like maybe a year or two. Like, I didn't even realize that. And so I went in and I had to update it and make sure that all the links were working. And, you know, I've actually seen just a small handful of donations since then, but I really appreciate that. I don't know if any of those donations are coming from YouTube, but if they are, thank you so much. If you were one of the, whoever, I can't remember who said that the link wasn't working. It was just someone in my YouTube channel was saying, hey, your link's not working anymore. I hadn't checked it in at least 2 years. Good night to you, bro. Are you talking about came in for negotiation? Who's coming in for negotiation? Oh, okay. Good night, Anthony. The Humble Stacker. Oh, Humble. I'm so glad somebody I know. Let me talk to you for a second, Humble, if you've got a few minutes. I started this video series a week ago Monday. And, my channel is not nearly as big as yours, Humble, but I'd say in the past week, this channel has grown tremendously. I've gained over 100 subscribers in like maybe a week's time. It's been crazy. And maybe it's because I'm actually reporting on something that I'm actually good at, something I know, me being a PI. I also just had another surgery, Humble. I had a surgery January 2nd, and I had a surgery February the 6th. I'm trying to recover from both at the same time. They were both pretty gnarly procedures. And I had a little bit of a complication on Saturday with the meds. So I have to restart again tomorrow. And, it's either going to go well or it's going to go to hell in a handbag. And while I'm not on those meds, I am at great risk. So, yeah, I have a little bit of a left kidney pain right now. And maybe that's a good sign. Maybe the stone that they broke up is going to start to fragment and come out. It's supposed to be fragmented into sand, but it hasn't come out yet that I know of. And how are you doing, Humble? I'm sorry I forgot to ask you that. I just, the chat's going fast and I'm watching the iPad, the phone, the chat. I'm watching the TV in the living room. I hope you're doing good, Humble. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. I'm sure you already have, my friend. Yeah, it's just been wild. I did a live, Humble, at the end of the Super Bowl, and I had like 3,000 people, not all at one time, but I think I hit 73 people in the chat at any given time. I couldn't believe it. Gonzalez says, yeah, I get you. That's what I do every time I'm bored. I just play a game and watch something. Humble says, I already smashed the like button. Thank you. Oh, Humble. I'm fine. Working with the new teeth still. I need to ask you about that because I had a surgery. I had an emergency dental surgery during my chemo. And because they couldn't take me off the chemo long enough for me to, do all the process. So they just did an emergency surgery. And that was in 2019 chemo. And I still haven't followed up with that. I've been to the dentist, obviously, since then many times. But I would love to ask you, privately, when we're not on YouTube, more about your dental work because I definitely need to get that issue fixed because it's causing wear on the teeth on the left side because the emergency surgery that was done during chemo was on the right side. So I would love to talk to you about that more later, Humble, about everything that you're doing. But my God, it looks fantastic. Gonzalez says, okay, I'm going to leave the live, but keep on going. Don't stop. Good job. You're doing what I wanted to do. Never give up. Thank you so much, Gonzalez. And Humble says, of course. Well, thank you. That's my good friend here, Humble. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Humble, make sure you are. I just got to take a swig of my smoothie just because I haven't hydrated enough. So Humble, I don't know if you've seen these, but I've done a whole video series on Nancy Guthrie, the mother of the Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. And we're having breaking news today. Not only do we have photos and video that was released by Savannah Guthrie of a suspect at the door on the night of the disappearance, but within the last, well, I'd say about 20 minutes before I went on air tonight, there is a suspect, or I should say a person of interest that is being detained as we speak in Rio Rico, Arizona, about 30 minutes south of Tucson. Let's see. Yeah, it's my own special one. Smoothie, go big or go home. Absolutely. I didn't even bother to put it in a cup. I just had to go straight for it. If anybody wants the recipe, I'll be glad to give it out. Good. Hopefully they get some info out of them. I hope so. I hope that even though the guy in the pictures is covered in a ski mask, I hope that somebody recognizes the clothing or the mask or the backpack. And even possibly the gun that was on the belt in some of the pictures. Hello, first time viewer. Is it Husafel? Thank you for coming. I don't know if I'm butchering that name, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel and make sure to go to the live tab on my main page. Just go to the live video tab and you can see the series of videos on the Nancy Guthrie case that started, well, she was kidnapped on or abducted on February the 1st, and I have videos that started February the 2nd. Humble says, it's a shot in the dark right now. You know how this process goes. Absolutely. Thank you, Hustleville. Yeah, you should have seen Humble. The other night I was on and during the live, it was about an hour, hour and a half. There was over 3,000 people that had come in. Now, obviously not all at the same time, but you should have seen the watch hours afterwards. I was like, oh my God. And for the first time since my brief monetization and then subsequent demonetization, when I saw those numbers, it kind of, hey, kitty, come here. Let me show you. It kind of gave me some hope, Humble. Kind of little spark. Hi, this is Kelsa. You're over 4K. That's what I need to be at. I was. I lost a lot of my views when I deleted a majority of my videos. Well, not a majority, but 1/4 to 1/3. Hey, Kelsa. Say hi to the audience. Yes, she is a pretty girl. Yeah, she was a good girl to me. She helped me out today. Yeah. Why would kidnappers drag this whole situation out for so long? That is a very good question. If you see the video I did on Sunday, you will understand why this is not a typical kidnapping. I know. Well, she doesn't have whiskers though, like Alfie, who was like a lion, but he was very unusual. Yeah, they wouldn't in most cases. Oh, now I got a cat hair on my face. Okay, yeah, it's on my lip. Okay, I'm looking at pictures of this guy, and he's got the long sleeves. He's got gloves that look like they have another pair of gloves or plastic over his hands. And in one of the pictures, you can see the gun. In another picture, you can't. Looks like he may have done some recon, earlier that evening or something. And wow, I can actually see some skylight in the background. I can see a little bit of his skin. He could be white or Hispanic. It's just hard to tell because these are not color photographs. Adding the gun into the picture is pretty scary. Yeah, can you imagine if you were in bed at night and somebody came in wearing that mask and having that gun? I mean, she could have had a heart attack and died. Still alive is hard to believe. Absolutely, Humble. I'm sorry to agree with you on that, but I do agree with you that she doesn't have her meds. Unless the kidnapper went out and got a prescription at CVS, I don't think she could live very long, 24 to 48 hours without those meds. I hope that however this ends up, whether she's dead or alive, that if the worst has happened and she's deceased, that they at least get a body back. They will probably find remains, unfortunately. Yeah. But it would be better than not finding anything at all and never knowing what happened to her. And depending on where the remains were put will depend on the condition that they are in. Yes, closure is very important. But as a PI, I can tell you that this is not your typical kidnapping. And somebody reported in my video earlier today in my live that the ransom has been paid, and I don't know that there's any truth to that at all because there's no proof of life. And apparently someone said there's no crypto in her account. Now, what they mean by that, I don't know. I don't understand anything about cryptocurrency, but I would certainly not pay a ransom without proof of life. Yeah, you haven't seen anything. Yeah, somebody mentioned it. Actually, Karen mentioned it in the live that I did earlier. Was there forced entry or did she let him in? Well, see, that's a good question. Even though there appears to be forced entry, that doesn't mean that's not necessarily how the person got in. It just depends if the forced entry is real or if the forced entry is a red herring that was planted after the fact. I know, Humble, there's nothing about this that's typical. People don't, kidnappers don't hang out at a house for at least 41 minutes of a victim. They get in and they get out as quickly as a bank robbery. And they don't wait as long as this person or whoever sent those ransom notes sent. They don't wait that long to send those. Gun mask breaking camera sounds pretty violent to me. It sure does, doesn't it? Those pictures of that guy it's just creepy. I mean, you can tell that it definitely looks like a man, but that's about all I can see. But it's better than having nothing, considering that Nancy Guthrie reportedly did not pay for a Nest doorbell subscription. And as I've said on this many times, and you guys may not agree with me, and you don't have to agree with me, but having a Ring doorbell or a Nest doorbell and not having a subscription is like owning a gun for protection and not having any bullets. It just does you very little good. And it's taken a long time for Google, who owns Nest, to be able to get this video, considering that there was no subscription. There was a lot of time spent. I'm glad they got it, but they could have had it that evening or the next morning when the family was alerted that she was missing. They could have had that video right then and there, especially with her cell phone left behind. We don't know what they did to her to make her bleed, Hussafel. And she probably, being on a blood thinner, most likely probably bled quite easily. Maybe they got the information off the camera they didn't find before. No, the camera they didn't find before was actually on the roof in the back. And this was the camera from the doorbell. This was the Nest doorbell cam that they were able to get the video of the suspect. And that doesn't mean he's the only person involved. That may just have been the person that went in and did the abduction. There could be other people involved in this. This could be a gun for hire, so to speak. That this is all going to come out. But the police have spent an awful lot of time at the Annie Guthrie house, I have to say, more than I would suspect. They've spent a lot of time there. They're looking at a lot. They're carrying a lot of evidence away. No, possible evidence, we should say. Sounds possibly staged. Lots of random facts that don't add up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, baby. Come here. Don't cry in the middle of my video. I don't know, what do you want? Come over here. She's been pretty good today. Yeah, it has been possibly staged. That's why I'm not convinced of the forced entry. I'm not convinced that the ransom notes are legit. I'm not convinced that the ransom is legit. It may all be BS that has come after the fact to throw somebody off the trail, but maybe not. This could have been a flat-out kidnapping from the very start. It's too sporadic of a scene, nothing adds up. Absolutely nothing adds up. Now, if this case is ever solved, and she is found, whether dead or alive, and the person or persons responsible are arrested, maybe with all that, more and more of this will start to make sense. There was a big question mark about the church and which church, and did she attend, or did she go Zoom, or did she go live stream? And apparently now there's a completely separate church that's involved that's in New York that was introduced to her by Savannah, that she went over to a friend's house and they would watch the live stream together. I mean, that story, just everything is just keeps evolving and changing with this every day. Alive in Aruba with her BF, the kidnapper. I doubt it. I doubt it, Humble. Remember, this woman is 84. She's got health issues. She looks like she's probably on a blood thinner. She needs a cane or a walker. Awful but funny. Ransom paid. Was that paid, Humble? Is that what you're saying, that it was paid? Somebody came in my live earlier today and said that the ransom was paid. But I don't have any proof of that either way, that it was paid or it wasn't paid. Yeah, it's not looking good at all, Humble. I just, I hope deep in my heart that she's found, but I just think that she's no longer with us. And if that's the case, I still hope that they find her one way or the other. No, you don't know if it was, just saying. Yeah, that's something that came out in the earlier broadcast. Someone had typed it in that they thought the ransom was paid today, but I don't know if that's true at all. And we don't just throw guesses out here, we try to be as accurate as possible. What are you doing? She's standing on the bunny's house right now. Come here. Age time nomad's not looking good. Absolutely. She's old enough to be my mom, but I'm not exactly a young chicken. So it's as a woman, it's kind of scary. I mean, I've seen a lot of scary things. I'm like, Kitty, do you have to do that right now? Okay. I need another swig of my smoothie. We got mixed berries in here and sugar-free yogurt and diet cranberry and ice, a little bit of banana and some seeds, all kind of mixed in together. Oh, and some pomegranates mixed in there too. Special agent said he believed that daughter from TV may have paid ransom. Okay. That's what I heard earlier today, that it was reported that she paid. And there better have been darn proof of life, let me just tell you. I mean, I'm sure she's got the money to spare and she wants her mother back. She wants to do whatever is possible. She doesn't want to live with the guilt that she didn't pay it and then something happens to her mom if she's still alive. Very vague 7 hours ago. Yeah, I came on about, what was it, 3:30 or 4 Pacific time? At least 4 hours ago. And that's what I was hearing, that it was paid. But I didn't hear it myself. I heard it on my prior live that I did today. The ransom was either 4 million or 6 million, depending on if it was paid before the first deadline on Thursday at 5, or if it was paid by the second deadline, which was yesterday at 5 Tucson time. And if it was not paid, there would be consequences, but they didn't state what those consequences would be. So it's looking like 6 million. But we're just relying on, media reports for that. We can't prove any of this until all this comes out in a court of law. And it was in Bitcoin, which I just think is a really weird thing to request. Humble, do you know about Bitcoin? How traceable is that? I know it's just Giddy. Oh my gosh. I know it's just digital currency. It's not actual physical currency like, paper money, coins, or even gold or silver. It's just in a digital wallet. Sounds like a younger person of asking for Bitcoin. Humble says, well, if someone accesses your digital wallet, it can be hacked. I know that can be hacked. I have a celebrity client who came to me about that a few years ago, and I was able to help him with a lot of stuff, but I was not able to help him with that because I don't know anything about Bitcoin. And he says that his account was hacked and millions of dollars in Bitcoin disappeared. And maybe it did, maybe it didn't. He was not exactly a mentally stable individual, so don't know. Hi, kitty. Oh my God, I don't want to have to get up in the middle of this and catch a cat. My bunny, she's hiding in her hide right now because she's being harassed by a cat. Hey, kitty, you want to go to bed? I might have to get the pointer out. Let me get the laser pointer. Oh, there it is. She fell for this last night. I put the pointer in the bedroom and she just ran like 100 miles an hour to get there. But maybe she's not going to fall for that trick tonight. You can't hear the cat or bunny. Yeah, she's jumping all over the hide. Bunny, she's being quiet. She's okay. Can you guys hold on for one moment? Come here. Thank you so much. Well, she fell for it. I feel bad, but my poor bunny. She just wants to take a nap. Okay, we got 5 people. We got 10 thumbs up. Thank you so much. I used to have a bunny. He ate more food than I did. Absolutely. Well, is anybody hearing anything? Is anybody looking at their iPad, their television, their computer screen while I'm doing this live? Is anybody hearing or seeing anything? A lot's happened today. We've got the photos and the video of a suspect at the front door the night that the Nest doorbell camera was taken down. And supposedly there may have been a suspect detained south of Tucson tonight. Rio Rico, was it? Is that what I said? Can somebody look that up? Kelly, can you look that up, my mod? Is there a town 30 minutes south of Tucson called Rio Rico, Arizona? But apparently there's another location that's involved too, and they mentioned something about a school. And that grabbed my spidey senses because I know that Tommaso Cioni is a school teacher, and I thought I heard them mention him earlier, but this was just unfolding so quickly. But I do know the person that is detained is not a family member. I don't know, but you can send it to me, Humble. You can send it to me on the Gmail address that's listed on the main channel page at aprildavispi@gmail.com. Yes, I love blueberries, Hussafel. They're very healthy. It's these blueberries and blackberries and strawberries and raspberries that are keeping me alive the last few years. Looking up the other thing. Hang on. Oh, hang on after $6. What does that mean? I don't know. Maybe it's a typo, or I'm just not getting it. Oh, you have it. Okay, great, Humble. Yeah, I put a request out earlier today, Humble, for if people needed to contact me on here to please just contact me through the email or through the chats or through the comments, just because last night the phone and I was getting texts, I was getting IMs from Facebook in the middle of the night, and it was just like, I'm so happy to have all these new subscribers and friends, but come on, that was a little bit inappropriate. And I'm trying to recover from major surgery, and the iPad was going off in the middle of the night, and the phone. I thought I had the ringer turned off. I thought I had the volume turned down on the iPad, and it was just like, yeah. And I heard the YouTube thing going ding 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 in the living room, which was great. I love that sound. But some people were overstepping their boundaries last night, I have to say. After the $6 million deadline is gone, note that only the one daughter was on news Release, other two siblings not included. Yes, I did see Savannah Guthrie make a statement without the other two siblings. And the only time I've seen Tommaso is when he and his wife or significant other departed the property. I think that was before the car was towed by the FBI, and they were driving away like cowards with, hoodies over their heads, and, like, hey, don't look at me, like, don't look at my face, which I think is just very odd. Nice to see you too, Humble. Probably not alive. You're probably right, Kelly. If it was paid, shouldn't they hand over the mother? Okay, I missed that. Well, they should. I wouldn't personally pay a ransom without proof of life, but that's just me. I don't know what the circumstances are. I'm not the family. I'm not privy to anything that's going on in the investigation on this case, but I would never pay a ransom without proof of life. Thank you, Humble. I appreciate it. Very sad if she is not. Absolutely, Husafel. Humble says, I believe she is gone also. They can't hand her over if she is a corpse. I know. That's why I wouldn't pay a ransom without proof of life. And it better be darn good proof. I mean, she's 84. Can you imagine just the strain on her heart from all this? And without the meds? She can barely walk. How did they even get her out of the house? Was there more than one involved? Why did the blood only show up at the front porch and inside the house, but didn't go beyond the porch? It didn't go to the driveway. POL is so important in this situation. What is POL? Do you mean police? It looks staged. Yes, it does. Oh, proof of life. Yeah, I'm tired. Exhausted. I'm sorry. Uh, Proof of life is so important in this situation. Absolutely. But the family may know more than we know. And when were they shown these pictures that were lifted from the Nest Cam by Google? How long did it take to get that? As I'll say it again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you have a Nest subscription, or you have a Ring subscription, or you have a Nest camera or a Ring camera or any type of cameras, whatever you got going, make sure you pay for a subscription and that video is being saved for at least 30 days. Don't have all these cameras and no way to be able to go out and get the film unless you got to hire experts and CSI people to take it a week later. Time is life. Don't go out and buy a gun for protection if you don't know how to use it and you don't have any bullets. It's just that simple. The biggest question is, where is Nancy? Exactly. Probably picked her up so no more bleeding. I don't know. There was quite a bit of blood drops on the front porch. And apparently there's also blood in the house, but we don't know where that blood was in the house or where it led. So did they have a ramp van or something? We have no idea. How did they? Apparently the house is more than one story. It didn't look that way on TV, but apparently there are stairs inside the house. And so people are saying, how did they get her down the stairs? I wasn't aware that it may be a two-story. I know that she did buy the house with her husband in 1975 and that he died while the children were in high school. They bought it for $85,000. I did mention, if you've watched the prior videos, about the second mortgage from 2017. Nobody else here on YouTube or any sources that I've been watching, nobody's mentioned that. And I think it's very important to look into the financials of everybody, not just Nancy, but close family members. Why would she be up the stairs with mobility issues? That was my question too. And I thought, what stairs? In the pictures, it looks like a one-story house, but it's kind of hard to see. And then when you see it, when you see like a drone picture or a picture from a helicopter and you see the white roof that's been coated, it's hard to see how tall the house is. But I've also heard that there may be a basement or a crawl space. But yeah, I wondered that too. Are there stairs? What stairs are they referring to? Because there's one step up to the front door, but that's it. And I don't know what is in the back. Because the back door was found wide open, and they've not admitted or said where the forced or alleged forced entry was, whether that was true or that was just a red herring forced entry. Wasn't there any cameras in the neighborhood that might have caught something when this crime occurred? Do we have a car? That's what we don't know. Could be, Robert. That's a good question. Maybe split level. Kelly says she might have one of those motion chairs that carries you up the side of the stairway. Oh, very good. I didn't think of that. But literally, how did they get a 150-pound woman out of the house in the wee hours? Where was the car parked? On the driveway? On the street? The houses do sit very far back, and it's very dark in that neighborhood. They don't have any street lighting to protect the wildlife in the area. But there was a full moon supposedly around that night, and so it was more lit up than it normally would be. No, you don't think that house is big enough for one of those motion chairs that goes up the stairs. I've seen some of those at estate sales, and it's usually like a really tall, staircase or a winding staircase, and it's like, oh my God. Those must be super expensive. And it seems like this lady was really proud. Like, she didn't say to her daughter, who's a multimillionaire, like, hey, can you loan me $50 a year to have a subscription to my Nest? My Ring doorbell, which isn't the only camera that I have, but my Ring doorbell is a $50 a month or $50 a year subscription to be able to have that video saved, which, is basically worthless without that. Yeah, $50 a year is not bad at all. I don't think it's ever gone up. I've had it for years. Kelly, I'm not sure they're checking everyone's bank accounts frequently, and I wonder if there has been a change in the son-in-law's account. Yeah, I'd like to know. As a private investigator, I want to know about the life insurance. I want to know about any new policies, discontinued policies, any change in heirs. I would like to have seen a title search done on the house. I'm sure they've done that. I hope they've done that. Some of those detectives seem pretty inexperienced there. What is the current loan situation on the house? Why was the additional loan taken out? Is it in her name? Is it in a trust? Is it in a living trust? What type of estate does she have set up? Who are the heirs? What is the financial situation of Tommaso and Annie? How did they afford a $650,000 house, which 11 months later is only worth $665,000, which means your equity is crap in Tucson? In California, in 6 months, your house can go up $50,000. How has that house only gone up 15 grand in 10 or 11 months? How did they pay for it on a school teacher's salary? I mean, obviously they qualified for the loan. Did somebody loan them the money for a hefty deposit? I'd like to see a title search done on that house as well, on Tommaso's and Annie's house. And it doesn't mean that they're connected to this. I'm not naming them as suspects, but as a PI, you always look at the people closest to the person who is either killed or has been kidnapped or abducted. You always look at the people closest, but you need to rule them out right away if you think that it's going in a different direction. Hustlefell says, were any possessions missing from the house? Apparently not. Yeah, I could do a title search, but I'm not going to call a title company. I'm not professionally involved in this case. The thing I found out about the second mortgage, that was on a simple Google search. Anybody can do that. Just type in the address and boom, it just came right up. Yeah, it's not my case. Yeah, the county recorder's office can be checked as well. There was a rumor yesterday about Tommaso possibly having her power of attorney. I don't know if it's true. I haven't seen the video on that, but that can also be checked through a county recorder. So that doesn't mean anything. But at 84, I doubt she was handling everything on her own. And, we don't know the rumors about the gambling debts and the drug usage, and we don't know that any of that is true. And not from the victim, but from the victim's family. We're not going to accuse anybody here. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Well, thanks for coming in, Humble. It was so nice to see you. Yeah, there's a lot of intel that needs to be gathered. A lot. And a lot of this is just, public information. Now the financials on the bank accounts, no. And are they willing to turn it over without a search warrant? I know you couldn't just take the car without a warrant. You can't just go over to her house and say, "Hey, FBI, and here's my badge and give me your car," and it's towed away. Like, no. There had to be paperwork for that. Whose family doesn't have some sort of argument over finances? Exactly. I know that my own mother was hassled every day of her life the last 20 years, and it wasn't by me. And it was kind of sad because, my mom never worked and she didn't have anything. So it was just a crying shame. For you ladies out there, always make sure you have an education or you have some sort of profession and you can support yourself. Um, and then once you can do all that on your own, then if you'd like to get married and be in a relationship, go for it. You want to have kids, go for it. But make sure you can lean on your own abilities. Kelly. Oh, I saw that you sent a text, but I haven't had a chance to read it. I've been, trying to recover from surgery, and I was working on a small missing persons job the last 2 days, so I haven't been able to see anybody's attachments. And then last night, when the text was going off while I was sleeping from somebody, and some new subscriber was like, "Hey, talk to me. I want to talk to you." And it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. Excuse my language. I was pissed. Um, that's why I had to make a statement earlier today that if anybody needs, anybody that doesn't personally know me and they need to contact me, they need to contact me through my business address, my business email, or this channel. And I will do the best to answer the comments on the videos. I don't need to become the next Nancy Guthrie here and disappear in the wee hours of the night because somebody's crossing a line. I don't know how far the main road is from her house. I think she's pretty close to the 10 freeway. There's cameras all over the place. There's cameras at the Circle K store and the Chevron that are both located between Annie and Tommaso's house and Nancy's house. And they have secured video footage from both of those locations, and they have information on a mystery car from the Circle K. I have not seen the power of attorney info. When I have time, I'll get to all the messages. Tomorrow I'm going to be dealing with the medical stuff again. I'm going to be restarting the meds and seeing if my body can handle it, and if not, I'm going to be in an emergency situation. So I'll get to everything when I get to everything. But thank you for sending that. That's interesting. I don't know if it's true, but I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, I think the police they would be checking all of that, and the FBI would too. So is anybody hearing anything new? Is anybody hearing who the suspect is that is being questioned tonight but has not yet been arrested? You know, they can hold somebody for up to 72 hours before they arrest them. Oh, that's what you texted. Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out later. The messages were just like you have no idea how many messages are coming in with all the new YouTube subscribers. But and I think that's fantastic because that's engagement. That helps the algorithm. It means that people are watching my videos. But you know, my devices were going off all night long, and I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Yeah, anything that you hear is iffy. You without having the actual document in front of you. Okay, I'm seeing a picture of Savannah, her sister, and her brother. Okay, it's just a copy of the video. Okay, nothing new. I thought it was something new coming up, but no, it's not. That still creeps me out, seeing the guy at the door with the black gloves and the ski cap. And then he picks up the wildflowers or the desert shrub and holds it in front of the camera. Like, what are you doing? And then there's another picture of him in the same clothes, but his hat is different. And you can't see the eyes or the mouth, and you don't see the gun sticking out of his chest, out of his belt. Do they think Nancy is still in Arizona? I don't know. I hope so. It is scary. Yeah, I was doing my other video and I was looking at those pictures that had just come out of the guy at the door. And over to the right of me, near my front door, I haven't even celebrated, friggin' Christmas yet, and it's almost baseball season. I still have my Christmas cards taped up on my wall, and one of my cards fell down and went swish, and it hit the floor, and I like, whoa. It's just I'm very jumpy today with lack of sleep, getting texts and IMs from total strangers in the middle of the night saying that they need to talk to me and be friends with me and they need to call me and like whoa 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 everybody calm the f down. Like, I'm so happy to have you as part of my channel. You're my friends, you're my family, but we have to draw the line when I don't know you personally. People that I don't know personally, they cannot have my phone number or my home address. You have to go through proper channels, through the business email that's on the main channel page or the business address if you'd like to send a letter. Occasionally I will start doing mail calls, and we can go over everything that's sent and I can give everybody a shout out. But my channel's not that big yet, and I don't ever anticipate it that it will be that big, but there's always that address. That's a mailing address only. You won't ever actually see me show up there, but there is a business box and there is a business email address. So be sure to keep it clean, everybody. Hi, Myra. Nice to see you. I remember you from, was it last night you were in? And I mistakenly had called you Myrna, but it's Myra. It reminds me of that old Brady Bunch episode. I'm sure none of you here are old enough to remember that, where the director of the soap commercial, he's like, Myra, Myrna. Oh, uh, been there. Been where, Husafel? Oh, we're not getting the views today. Everybody gives me a thumbs up. I can't even speak anymore. Uh, yeah, I just wanted to go with this breaking news and let everybody know. This is the second time today, so I need to get off soon. This is the breaking news that there has just been an arrest made, or not an arrest, but a suspect or a man, a person of interest, has been detained. Did we look up? Uh, Oh, the dropping of the Christmas cards. Okay, I get you. Did we look up, is it Rio Rica or Rio Rico? Is there a Rio Rico, Arizona that's south of Tucson? Because they said 30 minutes south, and you're just about an hour south of Tucson and you're in Mexico. So if there is something that's happening in Rio Rico, that's pretty close to the U.S.-Mexican border, I would believe. Oh, you're old enough, Kelly, to get the Myrna Myra, the Myrna Myra. Myrna Myra. Oh, is it close to the Mexican border, Rio Rico? I know that her neighborhood, the Catalina foothills, is just right off the 10 freeway. It's not out in the middle of nowhere like I would have suspected. It's just because the desert's all around it and the neighborhood is very hilly and the houses sit far back and the neighbors are not right on top of each other like they are in a big city. It seems very rugged, very remote, but it's really not that, out in the middle of nowhere. That's close. Rio Rico? Is that, am I saying the right name? Is that the name of the town? Is there actually a town called Rio Rico? Because I'm just, I haven't even had time to look it up since I came on the air. This just came out. That the person being detained may have been detained in Rio Rico, but there's also something going on in a complete other part of town. So maybe they got a tip from that person where she might be. Oh, Rio Rico. Okay, thank you for looking that up, Kelly. Rico as in R-I-C-O, like Puerto Rico, Rio Rico. Population 21,000 in Santa Cruz County. Okay, and is that, since I don't have a map in front of me, is that south of Pima County? And is that close to the Mexican border? And I don't know if they went to somebody's home or somebody's business, or they just pulled somebody over in that town. But there is a person of interest that has been detained. And that does not mean arrested. And this could just be somebody who they have to get important information from. Maybe somebody saw the video and the photos of the masked man at the door and went, hey, I recognize that person. I'm going to get off here and make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit those red hearts. If you guys haven't clicked the bell icon on the channel page, if you click that bell icon, you will be notified anytime that I post a video or anytime that I go live. I sure hope so. Oh, because tomorrow's going to be a little rough. I got to restart the meds at 9 a.m. and then I've got to sit here and I got to wait. And I know that my cardiologist is always in surgery all day on Wednesday, but I'm going to have to talk to him, and then I'll be dealing with the urology office Thursday morning. So, yes, good chatting with you. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you guys. And I will obviously come back on the air if anything is breaking, but it probably won't be tonight. Thank you for coming, everybody. Love you all.